Eamon Khan here for seconds out with Liam Beefy Smith. Liam, Jazza, never want to write Jazza off. He's proven that, of course, if you sometimes back someone who you think might win a fight, someone like Jazza can turn that around, and he's got this opportunity against Batagaziev. I don't know if you've seen too much of him, a heavy puncher, but Jazza with a shot.
Yeah, definitely. He's got the style to be in with a shot of anyone and upsetting anyone. Jazza, he's got the southpaw style. He can box. We've seen him with Zelfa, put in a very good performance, and everyone written him off against Zelfa. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. This is his big opportunity. This is his world title fight. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm rooting for him.
On to issues surrounding yourself. What is the latest in terms of getting back into the ring? We spoke to you last in Scotland, didn't we? You said, look, you're not closing the door as such on things, but has been any movement?
No, still the same boat. Still, I'm just, I'm chilling, playing paddle, time with little girls, and yeah, I just don't no decisions just yet. I'm seeing what comes of the next month or two, and then if I'm done, I'm done. If I'm not, I'm not. But it'll be on my choice and no one else's.
Why is everyone playing paddle?
It's the new sport, isn't it? Everyone's getting mad for it. It's brilliant. That's why I think it's just better. The calories you lose, you can be in any shape to be good at it. Fat old fellas, you don't have to really be young, fit and agile to play it. It's a good game. It's a very good game. Get into it.
I imagine the Smith family paddle is probably one fun old game. Right, into one of the biggest stories, and that is Chris Eubank Jr versus Conor Benn. That rematch has been announced. That fight is happening. Anything change in terms of how you feel the second fight goes, considering how we saw the first fight?
Yeah, I think I bring Conor into it a lot more. The second fight, yeah, I think he's got a lot more of a chance. Only what I've seen with Chris, like you say, you can probably say it's a bit rich coming from me after my performance, but the way I saw Chris, I thought his balance was not great, and I think Chris is 1 or 2 fights away from being done. So I think the rematch brings Conor into it a lot more than I thought of the first fight. So that's my opinion on it. I'm not being disrespectful to them. That's just my opinion on the rematch being done.
Is part of your thinking due to the rehydration clause still being in place and what it seemed like it took out of Eubank?
I don't know how to look at it. I don't think the rehydration clause is a massive issue for Chris. Probably be 2 or 3 pounds he'll have to watch it with. I think if you give Chris no rehydration clause, I think he's probably only going to come in at 174 maybe. So by 9 o'clock in the morning, he's got to be 170. I don't know. I don't really know how much to make of it. I think just the 160 is starting to wear Chris rather than the rehydration clause. I think he is really starting to struggle at 160.
Conor, in some of the interviews, I heard him say he's going to maybe look to be a little bit closer towards his natural weight, which sounds like he's coming in lighter than he was. Does that sound like a good tactic?
No, not really. I don't think it is, no. Again, my point of view, we come in light for the last one, and again, look, I told you beforehand, he took a massive bit of confidence off me knocking Chris out. And again, let us give Chris 4 rounds. Conor said he gave him 3 rounds, 2 rounds. He predicted all these knockouts, and he hit Chris flush many times and didn't budge Chris. And like I said, there was a lot of emphasis on Nigel saying Conor hits harder than me, and I just think that fight kind of shown. He doesn't, but he's got a chance in the second fight, and if Chris does the weight wrong in the second fight, Conor can. You don't get to him and hurt him, but I just think Conor will gain confidence off the last fight, and I think Chris is not far off being done.
In terms of the pre-fight build-up, a lot has been said about Eubank Jr. and how good he is at kind of winning the fight week antics, the build-up, the press conferences. Did you see a lot of that in terms of how he dealt with Conor Benn, and do you think that's going to be a problem for Benn going into it too?
It's one of them, because Chris dealt with the fight week great, but then failed weight and looked a bit of a cunt towards the end, and then somehow seemed to draw the fans on side with not the fans in the arena. I think he was always having the share of the fans, to be honest with you. I think he had the fans from day one the fight was made. He knew that by saying to Conor, no, there's 2 bad guys in this fight, you can't accept it. And he did do well. He drawed a load of the fans on side, but I mean, with it, he failed weight and never really got slaughtered for it. It was like he felt sorry for him, and we accepted the fight at 160. He's at 160, he's a middleweight, it's not a 168 yet, so he still should have made 160. And again, because of the rehydration clause and all that, because of you know, the stipulations in the contract, everyone felt sorry for him and slaughtered, you know, Conor and Eddie Hearn, and I didn't really agree in that, because 12 weeks out, 13 weeks out after the fight was made, Chris accepted all them terms because he's getting a truckload of money. So we accepted the terms. You can't really point fingers when you know, either put a re-addition clause or it's at 160, you accepted them. You know what I mean?
Being at the opposite end of the corner to him, what is it about him that gets under fighters' skin, Conor Benn's skin?
I think it's just more like his audacity. You know, he's always shows to play that role of the villain, but it's some of the stuff where he says where, you know, you expect that from a fighter, an elite fighter, someone who's class and been there, done it. And he tries to say, you think, how are you saying that to me? Well, that's where he gets under people's skin, because he says it with no like laugh after it or what. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can see how he gets under people's skin, but again, it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't win fights unless you're mentally weak yourself and let it beat you before you get in.
Canelo Crawford, of course, you've been in the ring with Canelo. What's your take on that fight?
Yeah, I think Canelo may be too big. At 168, it'll be too solid. You know, you've seen Crawford not struggle with Madrimov, but not set the world alight. Canelo's bigger again. You've seen a massive 154 in Charlo get in with Canelo, and Canelo just bully him around the ring. I just think this 168 from 147 is a big push. You know, everyone made a big song and dance about Conor going from 147 to 160 when Conor had 2 or 3 fights at 154. You know, because of how good Terence is, don't take away the fact that he's going from 147. He's had 1 fight against Madrimov at 154. He's going right up to 168 against Canelo Alvarez, not against Chris Eubank Jr. So understand the stature, understand the levels, and I just think it might be a little bit of step too far for Terence.
You thought him on the rise up, and a lot of boxing fans, media, pundits are saying that Canelo's slipped. Has he slipped as much as people are saying, or is he still as good as he can be?
Ability-wise, I still think he's good, but I just think he has slipped as in. He's had a lot of fights. He's been pro a long time, turned pro at a young age. I think his work rate's maybe dropped a little bit. He's started to mark up a little bit more than he used to. But fully expected, you know, you're seeing him. Some of his camps he's got a knee pads on, knee brace, elbow pads. Yeah, he's had a long career and it's grueling on the body, and you know, it's no surprise, but to still be at the level he's at and still be producing the wins he's producing, you got to take it out of too.
Very last thing, we spoke to Tyson Fury in a media scrum, and he said, look, I'm retired, but, and there's a big but, I'll take on Alexander Usyk, I'll take on Anthony Joshua, just throw me a load of money. He says he's really cut up, you can tell, about that loss to Alexander Usyk both times, and he says he's watched it 250 times, I won that fight the second time around. What do you feel about the future of Tyson Fury and whether he returns?
Yeah, I think he definitely returns. I think the whole of boxing will answer the same, give you the same answer. I think he definitely returns. He's just doing what Tyson Fury does. You know, he's got everybody on a string and everyone wants to see him, so he knows people are going to come knocking. He knows the phone's going to go. With a truckload of money for Joshua, you know, for Dubois, if Dubois beats Usyk, yeah, they just don't need dance partners, and Tyson Fury's a great dance partner for anyone.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.